Dougie and Pete still alongside me. Want to get your thoughts on Ruben Amorim and, what the future looks like for Manchester United. Dougie, just start off by telling us why he's a manager that is so in demand, because at the beginning of the year, for a lot of fans over here, probably don't watch a lot of the Portuguese league, but would have heard the name. He was linked to the Liverpool job, West Ham job loosely as well. There were musings about him maybe taking over from Pep Guardiola at Manchester City. Why is it that he's become this manager that is so in demand?
Yeah, well, he's a bit of a coaching prodigy. You know, he's got his first chance with Casapia, a third-tier side in 2018. He then moved to Braga B and then got the full-time Braga job. And after just 13 games and 10 wins, Sporting CP saw enough in him and enough in his leadership and his tactics to pay a €10 million release clause, making him the third most expensive manager of all time at that moment in charge. In time, and since being at Sporting CP, he's taken them to new heights. He's re-established them at the top of the Portuguese league, and this was a Sporting CP that really needed a leader to take a grip of this football club. You know, it was in 2018 that about 50, 60 Sporting CP supposed fans stormed the training ground, attacked some of their key players, including Bastos, their leading scorer. That was in real protest to Bruno Di Carvalho, the Sporting CP president, who was known for putting out pretty inflammatory statements on social media. He then got accused of inciting violence, which he was then acquitted of. But it was a really unhappy club, and Ruben Amorim has done such an amazing job at Sporting to solidify their place now back at the top of the Portuguese league.
Yeah, Dougie saying there he sort of almost brought them back to their kind of glory days. Just tell us about the job that he's done, because yes, you look at it and go a couple of league titles, but I mean they're having a brilliant start to this season as well.
Well, they are, yeah, unbeaten this season, and I think that just sums up the level that he's taken them to, because they've won 2 titles under him. And the first one, you say about restoring their glory, they hadn't won a title for 19 years.
Yeah.
So they won it last year, and they look like they're on course to do it again. But we've got a graphic for you here, Emma, and it's like top 5 European leagues, which we usually talk about, but also the Portuguese league and the Dutch league in there. And this is last season. And this just gives us a picture of how well Sporting did, and perhaps not quite how well Man United did. But so then we've got these wheels here, and you can see where basically Sporting rank across all of these leagues. Points, for instance, second. Only Man City won more points in the league last season than Sporting. They got 90 points. Man City got 91. And then in comparison, we can obviously go to Man United and see they're ranking 48th across these leagues in Europe last season. And it also gives us a picture, really, of the fantastic attacking play that Sporting have got in their side as well, or under Ruben Amorim goals. They scored 96 goals last season, ranking second across these European leagues. Man United, just 57 goals from them, so they're 63rd in that ranking there. So it just gives us a picture here, I think, as you go around these attacking metrics, whether it's how they build up the play, the touches they have in the opposition box, they're so far ahead of Man United in these other in these statistics. And I think it's just a great picture, really, of how Ruben Amorim has taken this Sporting side into such an entertaining, attacking team.
Yeah, and look, there's no doubt about what he's managed to achieve at Sporting Lisbon, but Manchester United, it's a different prospect, isn't it? And a club at the moment, I mean, that job has got to be one of the most sort of high-pressure jobs in world football, coming in and taking over at Old Trafford. Yeah,
absolutely. It's a completely different scale of club, you know. Benfica have won 18 more titles than Sporting CP. Porto have won 10 more. Sporting CP, in historical terms, are quite clearly the third biggest team in Portugal. Man United, probably the biggest, alongside Liverpool, at least historically. So there's a huge expectation when you take the Man United job. And Sporting CP, European history-wise, not on the same sort of ballpark as Man United as well. Between 1984 and when Ruben Amorim took over, they only reached the Champions League knockouts once. At Man United, he won't just be expected to get them back challenging for the league, but they'll be expected to get back to the heights that they saw in Europe in the Sir Alex Ferguson era. And it's a huge ask, you know. David Moyes struggled at Man United. He'd managed 500 Premier League games. Louis van Gaal struggled at Man United. He'd managed clubs like Bayern Munich and Barcelona. Jose Mourinho had won titles in 4 countries. He'd won 2 Champions Leagues, and he struggled at Man United. So whilst he does look incredibly promising, there is a certain risk to this appointment too, in that he's not really been tested outside of Portugal.
Yeah, and Pete, one of the big sort of criticisms of Manchester United under Erik Ten Hag was about identity and style of play, or lack of it maybe. What can we expect from
Well, I think
Ruben
he has
Amorim?
definitely got a clear style. So 3-4-3 is a formation that he most often goes to. But in terms of the actual way they play, we've seen some of their attacking metrics there. This is a fairly direct. So they like to have a lot of the ball, but they are direct with it as well, attacking, entertaining. But actually, without the ball, I think that's where we really see a clear plan, and they're intense with the way they try and win the ball back. And we can see here about the highest defensive lines across these major European leagues since the start of last season, and Sporting rank 4th here for the start distance. So this is where you win the ball back, how close to the opposition goal, and you can see Man City at the top there, a team we know under Pep Guardiola like to get it up, get the ball back high up the pitch. In contrast, Manchester United under Erik ten Hag way down in 54th. So opposition teams coming on to Man United a lot more than they do Sporting before Man United get the ball back. And another graphic we've got here, passes before making a defensive action. So effectively, how much a team can knock it around before you either intercept it, make a tackle, make a foul, basically break up the play. Tottenham, interestingly, are leading the way here in this PPDA metric, as it's called, 8.6 passes from the opposition before they win it back. Sporting, just outside the top 10, ranking 11th there. So opposition sides passing the ball around about 10 times before they get it back. Man United, again, way down the standings, 54th for them. Opposition teams having it for 12 passes or so before they get it back under Erik ten Hag. I think the caveat I'd put to all of this, though, is that when Erik ten Hag arrived from Ajax, he said in his first press conference, he was asked, how are you going to play? And he said, well, it depends on the players. And I think maybe we could say with Man United, they didn't play this high, intense pressing football that perhaps Erik ten Hag would have liked to, that he played at Ajax because of the type of players. So can Ruben Amorim come in and get those sort of results and performances out of these Man United players?
I think that's probably the argument, isn't it? Because then by the end, Erik ten Hag had actually brought a lot of the players in that he wanted to bring in. When we look at, I suppose, kind of off the back of that, talking about the players that he's going to be working with, there are a lot of issues for whoever comes in. It looks like it is going to be Amorim. But what will he be working on immediately? Because fans, ultimately, they're 14th in the Premier League. They want to see something instant, don't they?
Yeah, they will look for an instant return. Look, Man United at the moment are closer to 20th than they are to 1st. So there's clear work to do, particularly in building the confidence of a lot of those players. But I think personnel-wise, 3-4-3, one of the key weaknesses is probably left wing-back. You know, you look at Diogo Dalot can play out there, Mazraoui, but they're natural right-footers. That's not particularly comfortable. Luke Shaw's turning 30 next year. He's had consistent injury problems. He's missed at least 15 games in 5 of the last 6 seasons. Tyrell Malacia, an Erik ten Hag signing. He's only ever started 14 league games for Man United. He's been perennially injured over the last 12 months as well. So I think left wing-back will be an area that he looks at. Does he see Manuel Ugarte, who shone under him at Sporting CP, alongside Kobe Mainoo as his ideal double pivot, potentially? But where does that leave Bruno Fernandes as well? Can Alejandro Garnacho or Marcus Rashford play a more inverted left-wing role that we've seen Pedro Gonçalves do so effectively for Sporting CP under Ruben Amorim? So there's personnel questions for sure, but I think for now, having spent so much money, you know, Erik ten Hag spent over £600 million. I think only Chelsea spent more during his time in charge. I think a lot of Man United fans will be like, you've got a decent squad here, or they should be performing better than they are at least. So you've got to improve these players right here, right now.
Ruud, what a win. You said you wanted passion and football that would excite the crowd and get them going. You got exactly that.
Yeah, it was the case. I have to say that we scored some great goals. The first one was an absolute beauty from Casemiro. I have to also say that we had some luck as well. 2 posts, and it comes to Casemiro's feet. Bruno with the free kick, and it's deflected and it's in. But it's his first one of after a long time. I'm so happy for him that he's on the score sheet twice with a good finish in the second half, and Garnacho of course with a very good finish with a Diogo cross. So. The 5 goals, but as I said before, I have to say the chances against West Ham and Fenerbahce and QPR, we created so much more and bigger chances, and we couldn't finish. And all of a sudden, we had some luck on our sides, and that made it a great day today.
You say luck, but there was also resilience. What we did notice today was that when Leicester scored, heads didn't drop. The intention was to just get back and attack again.
Yeah, that's the intention, and I think it's always the target for us to react and go straight back into to attack ourselves. But I have to say the reaction of the players after these moments were excellent, and they deserved. The credits all for a good win, and happy that the crowd goes home with a nice night of football.
Completely untrue, Ruud van Nistelrooy defends Man United star Casemiro after Leicester victory. Manchester United celebrated a commanding 5-2 win over Leicester, marking Ruud van Nistelrooy's triumphant debut as interim manager. After his team's impressive performance, Van Nistelrooy passionately defended Casemiro, who scored twice in a standout showing on Wednesday night. Following Erik ten Hag's departure, Van Nistelrooy stepped in as interim head coach and guided United to a decisive victory. Casemiro set the tone early with a powerful 25-yard strike into the top corner at the 15-minute mark, leading to a thrilling 4-2 first half, with additional goals from Alejandro Garnacho, Bruno Fernandes, and Casemiro again. Bruno Fernandes wrapped up the scoring in the second half, bringing United to 5-2 and securing their place in the Carabao Cup quarter-finals without a hitch. Speaking to MUTV after the game, Van Nistelrooy said, "Couldn't ask for more. That first goal, an unbelievable top corner finish. We had a bit of luck tonight, I admit, but sometimes you need that." He continued, "The rebound off the post that fell perfectly for Casemiro, Bruno's deflected free kick, fortune was on our side tonight. It was just great to see Casemiro open the scoring, more goals followed, and the team kept the energy high." The Dutchman praised Casemiro, expressing his delight in seeing the Brazilian score twice after what's been a testing period. "I'm thrilled for Casemiro. The dedication he shows in training and his support for the team and club is remarkable," he said. "You can feel the crowd's response, they know his value. He's taken criticism since the Liverpool match, and it wasn't fair or accurate. Watching him train, his Champions League achievements, he's a true leader. That's why celebrating his goals felt so special tonight." Van Nistelrooy also commended Bruno Fernandes for his goals and leadership. "Bruno's been incredible. I never doubted him because I see how he prepares, how he drives the team," he added. "He takes on huge responsibility for both the players and the club. I told him tonight to just play freely and enjoy it. Seeing him score, then score again, I hope it's the start of many more.